Welcome to World News. This is Jyoti. Let's down to the details. President Donald Trump struck a balance between gravity and humor during his Oval Office press conference with the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. While addressing critical global issues including the ongoing conflict in Gaza, Trump lightened the mood with a series of jokes that left Carney and members of the press corps laughing on a more serious note. Trump expressed optimism about the prospects for peace in Gaza, stating there is a real chance for a breakthrough as Hamas and Israeli negotiators engage in indirect talks. The discussions coincide with the second anniversary of the October 7 attack, adding urgency to the diplomatic efforts. Trump remarks signal renewed U.S. engagement in the region with the hopes pinned on a U.S. proposed peace framework. The presser ended on a high note, blending diplomacy with levity.
And I met the president of Somalia. I told him about the problem he's got. I said, you have somebody from Somalia who's telling us how to run our country. She's from Somalia. He said, would you like to take her back? He said, no, I don't want her. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Say it again.
How many permanent jobs are you talking about to be eliminated?
Well, I can tell you, I'll be able to tell you that in 4 or 5 days if this keeps going on. If this keeps going on, it'll be substantial. And a lot of those jobs will never come back. But you're going to have a lot closer to a balanced budget, actually.
Is there anything the Prime Minister has done that's making it more difficult to reach a deal?
Say it?
Is there anything that the Prime Minister has done?
Okay. No. And I met the president of Somalia. I told him about the problem he's got. I said, you have somebody from Somalia who's telling us how to run our country. She's from Somalia. He said, would you like to take her back? He said, no, I don't want her. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? He's a nice man, but he can be nasty. He can be very nasty. Maybe as nasty as anybody.
How?
I think Canada, let me put it this way, I can tell you this because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Even beyond the Gaza situation, we want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen. But there's a real chance that we could do something, so you may have some questions on that. Even beyond the Gaza situation, we want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen. But there's a real chance that we could do something, so you may have some questions on that.
In Washington, D.C., President Donald Trump described ongoing trade negotiations with Canada as more complicated, maybe than any other agreement, citing a natural business conflict between the two nations. He emphasized mutual affection, saying, I love Canada and the people of Canada, while acknowledging tensions over automobile and steel industries. Trump noted that both countries desire dominance in these sectors, which leads to friction, unlike trade with the distant nations. He added, we don't like to compete because we sort of hurt each other when we compete. Despite challenges, Trump expressed optimism, stating that the relationship has improved significantly in recent months and reiterated that the U.S. has historically given a lot to Canada in trade deals.
Well, it's a complicated agreement, more complicated maybe than any other agreement we have on trade, because, you know, we have natural conflict, we also have mutual love. You know, we have great love for each other. I love Canada and the people of Canada, and Mark feels the same way about here. The problem we have is that they want a car company and I want a car company, meaning the U.S. wants a car company, and they want steel and we want steel. You know, so in other countries they're very far away, and there's no problem. You can compete and you can do. We don't like to compete because we sort of hurt each other when we compete, and so we have a natural conflict. It's a natural business conflict. Nothing wrong with it, and I think we've come a long way over the last few months, actually, in terms of that relationship. So when it comes to trade, the United States was always giving everything. They gave everything to Canada. They would let car companies leave here and go to Canada. But that hurts the United States. And, other presidents didn't see that. They weren't business-oriented. They might have been good politicians in some cases, not in all cases. They were bad at both. Well, it's a complicated agreement, more complicated maybe than any other agreement we have on trade, because, we have natural conflict. We also have mutual love.
Minister Keir Starmer was warmly received in Mumbai by Maharashtra Governor Acharya Devrat, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Deputy Chief Ministers Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar. The ceremonial welcome marked the beginning of Starmer's high-profile visit to India's financial capital ahead of his scheduled meeting with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The visit is expected to focus on strengthening bilateral ties, with the discussions likely covering trade, investment, technology and strategic cooperation. Starmer's presence in Mumbai underscores the growing importance of UK-India relations, especially in sectors like finance, education and innovation. His meeting with PM Modi is anticipated to set the tone for deeper collaboration between the two nations. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed a delegation of Chabad rabbis to his Jerusalem office in celebration of Sukkot. The rabbis presented him with the traditional 4 species symbolizing unity among the Jewish people. They expressed admiration for his leadership and resilience during wartime. Netanyahu praised Chabad's global efforts to connect Jews to their heritage and homeland. He reflected on the symbolism of the 4 species, noting their representation of diverse individuals united as one nation, emphasizing unity as a source of strength. He voiced hope for the safe return of captives. The meeting underscored the spiritual solidarity and national perseverance. Netanyahu concluded with the blessings for a joyful Sukkot to all Israelis.
צריך סייעתא דשמיא, וצריך גם סייעתא דהרא.
עזרנו בשם השם עושה שמיים וארץ, כמו שכתוב.
זה שמיים וארץ.
אז לכן אנחנו באנו לברך, לחזק, להמשיך לעמוד חזק ואיתן.
קודם כל אני מודה לכם שאתם באים לחזק מדי שנה ובתוך השנה. תנועת חב"ד עושה פעולה מאוד חשובה בקרב יהודי העולם, לקרב את הנשמות, להביא את היהודים באשר הם לעם ישראל ולמורשת ישראל. אני מודה לכם על הבאת ארבעת המינים. ארבעת המינים זה ביטוי מאוד מדויק לעם ישראל. כל אחד שונה וביחד עם אחד. והאחדות הזאת של מורשת ישראל היא שנותנת לנו את הכוח להביס את אויבינו, בעזרת השם בקרוב להביא את כל חטופינו, ולהבטיח יחד את נצח עם ישראל בארץ ישראל. חג סוכות שמח לכל עם ישראל. יש סוכות בכל מקום. תודות לחב"ד בכל מקום. לדעתי בכל יבשת. אני לא בטוח אם יש חב"ד באנטארקטיקה, אבל פחות או יותר בכל היבשת.
בטיפול. באלסקה יש.
מבחינתנו, אנחנו רואים שברוך השם שיש לראש הממשלה הצלחה אלוקית.
Hong Kong is ablaze with the festive spirit as the Mid-Autumn Festival approaches, marked by the iconic Fire Dragon dance in Tai Hang. Volunteers parade a massive dragon woven with burning incense sticks through the streets, recreating a mesmerizing spectacle of smoke and sparks. This centuries-old ritual, believed to have begun in the 1800s to ward off a deadly plague, continues to captivate locals and tourists alike. The fairy procession winds through narrow alleys, accompanied by rhythmic drumming and cheering crowds. It's a vibrant blend of tradition, community, and celebration. The dance not only honors cultural heritage but also symbolizes protection and prosperity. As lanterns light up the city, the Fire Dragon remains the heart of the festivities. The ritual is a cherished highlight of Hong Kong's Mid-Autumn celebrations.
就有啲小朋友啊，譬如我帶埋個女嚟幫手舞花燈啊，咁樣好開心啊！大家幫呢個節日同埋幫香港添啲氣氛咁咯。
It's my first one like that. It's crazy for me, and a long dragon like that. It's crazy.
其實今年呢隻大埔可能咧，除咗有好多唔同嘅裝。見住我哋兩粒好閃亮嘅龍珠，帶領住我哋龍頭咧就飛越。俾啲聲嚟聽下先，哇！準備就緒啦，因為講翻咧，我哋而家身處喺換沙街咧，同一時間咧，其實喺大坑。
準備咗幾耐？我哋1個月之前，我哋會開始操體能，因為都好難，都要應付呢啲體能，都要一般都要一定嘅體能先可以應付到。每一年都同啲唔同嘅新人 part 啦，就好開心嘅，大家完成一件事，幾百人咁樣。跟住我哋就有啲小朋友啊，譬如我帶埋個女嚟幫手舞花燈啊，咁樣好開心啊！大家幫呢個節日同埋幫香港添啲氣氛咁咯。
It's my first one like that. It's crazy for me, and a long dragon like that. It's crazy.
其實今年呢隻大埔可能咧，除咗有好多唔同嘅裝。見住我哋兩粒好閃亮嘅龍珠帶領。
Qatar has voiced its strong criticism over Israel's continued military operations in Gaza, citing the framework of US President Donald Trump's peace plan. Majid al-Ansari, spokesperson for Qatar's foreign ministry, stated that Israel should have already halted its actions in accordance with the plan's provisions. The comments come amid ongoing conflict and rising humanitarian concerns in the region. Qatar has consistently called for de-escalation and a return to dialogue. The Trump-era peace initiative, though controversial, outlined steps toward a ceasefire and long-term resolution. Al-Ansari emphasized the urgency of adhering to international agreements to prevent further loss of life. The statement adds to growing international pressure on Israel to reconsider its military strategy in Gaza.
أولا لحكومة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية التي كان من المفترض أن تتوقف فعلا عن إطلاق النار إذا كان الكلام الذي قيل من قبل رئاسة الوزراء هناك بالالتزام بخطة ترامب. ولكن طبعا رأينا بعض التصريحات حول الحراك العسكري في قطاع غزة، والتي بالنسبة لوقف إطلاق النار هذا سؤال يوجه لي أولا لحكومة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية التي كان من المفترض أن تتوقف فعلا عن إطلاق النار إذا كان الكلام الذي قيل من قبل رئاسة الوزراء هناك بالالتزام بخطة ترامب. ولكن طبعا رأينا بعض التصريحات حول الحراك العسكري في قطاع غزة، والتي بالنسبة لوقف إطلاق النار هذا سؤال يوجه لي أولا لحكومة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية التي كان من المفترض أن تتوقف فعلا عن إطلاق النار إذا كان الكلام الذي قيل من قبل رئاسة الوزراء هناك بالالتزام بخطة ترامب. ولكن طبعا رأينا بعض التصريحات حول الحراك العسكري في قطاع غزة، والتي بالنسبة لوقف إطلاق النار هذا سؤال يوجه لي أولا لحكومة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية التي كان من المفترض أن تتوقف فعلا عن إطلاق النار إذا كان الكلام الذي قيل من قبل رئاسة الوزراء هناك بالالتزام بخطة ترامب. ولكن طبعا رأينا بعض التصريحات حول الحراك العسكري في قطاع غزة، والتي بالنسبة لوقف إطلاق النار هذا سؤال يوجه لي أولا لحكومة الاحتلال الإسرائيلية التي كان من المفترض أن تتوقف فعلا عن إطلاق النار إذا كان الكلام الذي قيل من قبل.
Rescue operations continue in Indonesia following the tragic collapse of a school building on Java Island, with the death toll now reaching 63. The multi-story structure gave way last week as over 150 students assembled for afternoon prayers, plunging the community into mourning. Emergency teams have been working tirelessly to retrieve bodies from the debris. With several children still missing, officials describe the incident as the country's deadliest disaster of the year. Budi Irawan, deputy head of the National Disaster Agency, confirmed the rising toll and emphasized the scale of the tragedy. Families of victims have gathered near the site, hoping for news of their loved ones. The cause of the collapse remains under investigation as authorities work to ensure accountability. Grief and shock ripple through the nation as recovery efforts press on.
Berikutnya keluar lampu. Oke, balik lagi. Balik lagi.
As Israel commemorates the second anniversary of the October 7, 2023 attack, voices from Gaza echo a call to reflect on the deeper roots of the conflict amid ongoing indirect negotiations between Hamas and Israeli officials under a U.S. proposed peace plan. Displaced Palestinians are urging the world to consider the historical context. When the world marks October 7, it should rather remember the motive behind the October 7 attack, said one Gazan man, referencing decades of occupation, injustice and suffering. The sentiment reflects widespread frustration and grief among those affected by the war. Many in Gaza view the anniversary not just as a date of violence but as a symbol of long-standing oppression. The talks continue as hopes for a ceasefire and humanitarian relief remain fragile. International observers stress the need for empathy and understanding on all sides.
yesterday. The vacuum in the house, the fact that she's not there, she was so alive and so colorful and so intense that the house is much quieter, and it was like yesterday.
About 75 demonstrators gathered at UCLA to mark the second anniversary of the October 7 Hamas attack, holding roses as symbols of peace and remembrance. The rally, organized by pro-Palestinian students and local activists, aimed to spotlight the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Marchers moved through campus in a quiet procession, calling for an end to violence and greater global awareness of civilian suffering. Participants emphasized messages of hope, humanity and solidarity, urging dialogue and compassion. The event was peaceful, with the signs and speeches advocating for justice and coexistence. Organizers said the roses represented lives lost and the resilience of those affected. The rally drew attention from passers-by and media, amplifying voices often unheard. It was a poignant moment of reflection and unity.
Available to us, including from our streets to our class.
We honor our history, our martyrs, and every survivor. We must reconsider.
2 years ago today, the world's gaze snapped to Palestine, but Palestine did not begin 2 years ago. And an end to the siege, an end to the occupation, accountability for war crimes, the right...
Children, there's not a military on military war going on here, you know?
And understand that the fight to return will not end until return. For many of us, the escalation of the anti-colonial resistance that began 2 years ago opened our eyes not only to the injustices in Palestine, but the injustices.
I am not a hateful person. I don't wish death and pain on anyone. For the soldiers that died on that day, they signed up for that. And I feel sorry for their families.
Hundreds of demonstrators filled the streets of Bogota, Colombia's capital, to mark the 2-year anniversary of the Israeli-Hamas war. The rally, held near the American embassy, was a show of solidarity with the Palestinian people and a call for peace and justice. Participants carried flags, banners and signs urging an end to violence and greater international attention to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The gathering included students, activists and community leaders, many of whom shared personal messages of empathy and resistance. Chants echoed through the city center, demanding accountability and dialogue. Organizers emphasized the importance of global unity in the face of ongoing conflict. The peaceful protest added Bogota's voice to a growing chorus of international support for Palestinian civilians. It was a moment of remembrance, resistance and hope. 3 scientists have been awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for groundbreaking research into quantum tunneling, a phenomenon where subatomic particles defy classical physics by passing through energy barriers. The work sheds light on one of the most puzzling behaviors in quantum mechanics and is already influencing the development of next-generation technologies. Quantum tunneling, once a purely theoretical concept, is now being harnessed in fields like quantum computing, semiconductors, and medical imaging. The laureates expressed both surprise and pride at the recognition, noting that their decades of research are finally finding real-world applications. This Nobel win not only honors their scientific achievement but also signals a leap forward in how quantum principles could revolutionize computing power and data processing in the years ahead.
No, I was completely stunned, and I was something that I had never ever dreamed of in my entire life. Michelle was my postdoc, and John was my graduate student at the time.
Yes, that's right.
What we came up with is the idea that you could actually have much larger objects that were able to tunnel. Oh, thank you so much.
I was rather preparing myself to not receive the prize. I'm very happy for my wife, I'm happy for my colleagues that, they are all receiving the prize.
My wife came and woke me up. So my wife woke me up a little bit before 6 in the morning, and, she had, heard from you a couple hours earlier, but she wanted to make sure I got enough sleep today, which actually, she understands me that's important. What we did is we built some electrical circuits where the current and voltages actually obey the laws of quantum mechanics in detail. And it really showed that quantum mechanics just wasn't some phenomenon.
That's to wrap up the world news. Keep watching CVR News English.